they're attacking your rooks, threaten a queen. If they're attacking your queen, threaten checkmate and pawn. And in all cases, you can counterattack with check as an in-between move. Counterattack, the #1 tool, recommended by grandmasters.
It's really all about your diet. You know, you are what you study. And if you study great players, you play great chess. Playing Blitz with Hikaru Nakamura, or regularly playing Blitz with someone who literally shows you glaringly what you're doing wrong like that. There is no substitute for the old-fashioned, you know, just getting slapped across the face when you make a mistake. Just no substitute.
The problem is that right now, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. It's a little early in the morning. We're going to try to return to our master repertoire. The master repertoire begins with E4. E4 sets the most difficulties for the opponent. It asks them if they really do know how to play chess. Our opponent is online. Are they in the main page? I don't see them on the main pairing page. Maybe they're expecting to get a warning. So let's give them a nudge. That way, we will wake them up ever so carefully. Go back to where we are. Hopefully he gets the message. Hopefully he's at his PC. Needless to say, I didn't get a chance to check if there were an odd number. Oh no, someone got a full point buy. I usually like to duck out for a half point buy if needed. Well, wait a minute. This was not a full point buy. That's great. No one got a full point buy. There were 10 players exactly, 5 games to start the day. For some reason, White gave away a knight on f7. And I think they realized that they were not in the position that they were supposed to be in, so they resigned, because 2 pieces for that rook on f8 is certainly not worth it. 2 pieces for a rook on f8, never truly worth it. Well, let's see what other games are going on. So we have a total of 4 games remaining. Looking at these games down here, let's see if we can expand them just enough to see 3 of them at a time. How about that? Captain Iron Thunder versus FC 140. Now the higher rated player is always at the bottom, it seems. Not sure why my times are not being recorded right. 2:56 to 3. Interesting. It's possible that this game is over, and if I click on it, it will be over. But 3 minutes into the game, right now we're only about 2 minutes. You can see that this person has consumed a minute 10. This person has consumed a minute 10. Everyone is getting back 2 seconds every time they move. That is what we ideally hope for. Looks like my game is over. I may have won that game. Yes.
Hello there, how are you today?
Good morning.
Please
no
welcome,
words.
applaud and kneel to the great moderator of several channels.
No words. How are you? Where did I see you the other day? I can't remember where I saw you last. You were participating in a stream. I honestly can't remember. I think it was one of the young ladies. Was it Athena? It wasn't Athena, was it? I would love to be able to help any of those streamers, but they don't really want help. Do you? is on the program. She is, I believe, actually working on. Let's take a quick peek. I believe she's actually working on her chess. Nope, not yet. No. But then again, maybe she wasn't online yesterday. Maybe she was having a chess-free day playing Outer Wilds or something.
Right game looks kinda interesting.
The queen and rook and knight versus queen, rook, and knight with the equally exposed kings. Let's take a quick peek. I don't know about this really blown up view. What do you think? This is crazy. What is this expansion pack? This is to 175%. The only drawback to 175% is that it looks like you can see the tops of my notifications at the top, and you might be able to not see the letters and numbers at the bottom of the board, which is kind of awkward. That's too much. How about, there we go, right in between. Small adjustments. So black is actually struggling now. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Who needs an exchange, right? Uh-oh, it's gotten worser and worser. Why are we walking into this check? So now knight e5 is in the cards. Knight e5 is in the cards, winning the material back. But he doesn't seem to see it.
I looked away for a sec. What happened to white? Why did he give up the exchange?
That's a very good question. I don't understand. I think he got forked. But then he played a great combination to get it back, but he didn't play knight to e5, right? Could he have saved the exchange? Yes, he could have, with queen to g3, queen g3, fg3, double check. Oops. Knight e5 does not win the exchange. Don't tell me he's going to block. Oh, no. Now, can anyone say winning endgame? That was a bit of a mess. So 80% to 175. Can we do one less? 150. Still is a little awkward on the bottom front. My window just isn't big enough. This is going to be a difficult game to win. Give him a checkup. Get a little closer. Confidence, that's what we need. Confidence that he's going to always have plenty of checks. No, let's not move that. Let us not move the rook. Ooh, rook check would have been simpler. Simplifying. Captain Iron. I don't know why I keep saying John.
Why did white move his king away from the corner?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind with his king holding the second rank. But he certainly could have drawn this with an exchange of rooks, but he didn't see a skewer. I definitely marked down skewers as being needed in his tactics repertoire. Now we're just being silly.
I thought you put the king in the corner and just keep checking black's king.
That is another technique. Yes, that works really, really well. But I don't know if he'd get the message either way. I honestly don't know that he would get the message that it was totally drawn either way. It's a tough call. All right. I did look at a Petrov repertoire. I promptly looked away. As much as I did look at a Petrov repertoire, I easily looked away. Ah, BillBen, thank you very much. Any hopes that you had of playing c3 went out the window on move 4. Would you like to be the next contestant on The Ridiculousness is Right?
D7 Italian. Slightly more in testing than regular Italian.
I believe that the bishop e7 is no longer an Italian. It's more of an authentic two knights defense. So what do I wish to do with this fellow? Do I want to play king h8, f5, f4? Like, what is he really going to do? All right, let's just check it out. Is he really going to try to play for d4? I don't think so. Wow. No respect for bishops. Dude. That was really not cool. So now, are we now I'm really curious as to where the knight on h2 is going. Curiouser and
A
curiouser.
dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at.
Today, we are mourning the loss of White's black-squared bishop, which was traded for no reason for a knight.
Another nature summary by David Attenborough. That is really good. No words. Good stuff, right? Good sense of humor. All right. Am I really willing and ready? Oh no, my knight's trapped. But I have another plan. If I can get it right. Let's tickle his pawn.
Why wasn't e4 good when you played qc6?
Straight away, you may be onto something there. But I am getting quite a bit. Can't make up my mind these days. I really cannot make up my mind these days. My knight could be sentenced over there for quite some time if I'm not careful. My queen is already misplaced again. How
I
about...
can't make up my mind either. Should I take the Lambo or the Rolls Royce? Decisions.
Takes back. Let's give him a little bit of what for. Interesting.
I wonder if I can use two voices in one message. Peter White's rook is having a fun time, it seems.
I guess not. Trying for Peter Griffin. All right, so are we in? No, we're not. I got to remember that we have 11 seconds. 11 seconds.
Hello.
Really? Let's get that
That
check
d3 pawn hanging was driving me insane.
in. You too, eh? Yeah, it was really sad that I didn't get more out of it. Woo! The greater number of weaknesses still seem to get there. That was quite crazy that I was very lucky in that game.
Wow.
Biron, how are you? Are you in New York City,
Very
sir?
well played.
I don't know about that. That was not the very in that. The very in that is a little exaggerative. I appreciate it though, Biron. Where are you, sir? Uh-oh. My Streamlabs is not showing the services that people are.
Super duper spectacular. I'm in Chicago, sir.
Nice. No, but I was just it's still not completely showing. What is going on here? Refresh? Maybe because I've got a TTS moderation, message history. Yes, you're on Twitch. Got it. No, it wasn't showing me the little tags to tell me if you were on YouTube or on... All right, let's see if we can over focus into Magnus here. We're going to go up to... Wait, which one is best? This one is pretty good.
Poem on Twitch.
But there's so much white space. Let's go up to this one. Wait, wasn't I here before? You know, this one isn't so bad. We'll do this one. We're sticking with our Grandmaster repertoire with E4. Best by test. Opening up lines for Queen and Bishop. Finding out if the opponent really does know how to move his pieces. Ah, interesting. Interesting. One of my favorite variations. Interesting. Wow. Okay. That's intriguing. Let's not get caught. But hopefully we did. And now for something completely uninteresting. C'est la vie. Scary moments. We could have traded. We could have traded. just in time. Looks like he is inviting us in. Yes. Thank you very much. It is a lost art respecting development of the pieces. What is wrong with people that they don't really want to develop their pieces anymore? It just seems strange, right? Very strange. That bishop, I don't know if that bishop was worth it. That bishop was certainly not worth it. Like, in order to free that bishop, it has to go to A1. And even then, do we wish to free that bishop? But are all of White's pieces tied up? That is a good question. E5, I think, is going to start a nice little avalanche. Okay, we're locking him up. We're locking him up better than the Third Reich. We're trying to lock him up better than the Third Reich. I thought we might take with the bishop. I was a little concerned about allowing an open file. He gets an open file anyway. It's just not the same open file. Yes, the king is useful. Now, I'm not sure what the rook's plan on that file was. I think that was a highfalutin waiting move. Now he's going to go after the g4 pawn with the help of his king, it appears. Bishop f4, king g5. And white is literally white is literally down a piece as there's a king and a rook. Now we just need patience here. Bishop d2 looks like Zugzwang.
Hi Master Chess Dojo.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, Bjorn. Paul 1e4, how are you? I don't know if this was really necessary to unleash the Kraken, but obviously this is a winning king and pawn ending. But how winning? I think we could have just been more patient. We could have even just played e5 and bishop takes e5 on the last move.
I am still tilted after another horrific loss yesterday.
Oh no! The pieces have no memory. Why do you? The pieces have no
I decided
memory.
I am not going to play until I win a game.
You're not going to play? How are you going to be a player if a player don't play? Right? Rook takes, bishop takes, and it's game over. He's still insisting on this, but this is awkward. Oh, you could have waited. He is in. This looks very dangerous now, though. Ooh.
At least I have some birthdays for you.
Ooh. No. Oh my God, it was almost mate. I'm so sorry to see. I'm so sorry to see OnFogler gone. That was very sad. Not a bad opening choice. Another anti-London. Another really good anti-London, which I have to remember to try, by the way, is one that was played by Morozevich, I believe. Bishop to g4. Yes, it says white's a half pawn better, but if they are never able to play a normal pawn structure, let's do it. All right, let's do it. I was actually trying to get to his profile, and I wanted to see the origin of this name. In reality here, Control C. Yeah, black walked up into a bit of a mate. It is a music type. Symphonic black, epic symphonic black metal. Forged by U.S. multi-instrumentalists Lord Boglier and Gris. Wow, OnFogler. Here we go. Oh, we're not going to get it. Unfortunately, we're never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. We're going with the old Rubenstein or Rotlevi-Rubenstein routine here. Hopefully not Cohn-Rubenstein. But we'll see what happens. The symmetrical Tarrasch. Now that he's moved his bishop. And what do I wish to do here? I need a pawn structure differential. That's what I really need. A little bit of a pawn structure differential. Oh no, my queen, my pawn. Oh no, my pawn. Fine. I could have played a6. a6. Something along these lines. What? Dudovich. I'm happy that you're happy. Your happiness is my concern. If you are interested, am I concerned? Not really. Wow. I cannot let you get too comfortable. Really? Where are you going from here? I don't know. Chances are so queen takes rook. Queen takes, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes rook. Queen takes rook check. There's only one small problem with a move like knight e5. Bishop, rook takes, bishop takes queen, right? That's interesting. Fine. Really? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not making anything out of this. It's a very good question. Just maybe we're not making anything out of this. I did have the possibility of playing e5 there. Why didn't I play it? Right? See if we can repeat the position a little bit. OMG. Alrighty then. Queen e4 would have been more accurate. Let us see. All right, we're off to the races here. Can I get there from here? That's not good. It's definitely not good. Did I lose it? I feel like I lost it. Yeah, I lost it. There's no saving this one. That was actually very awkward. So what happened here? I went from such a supremely pleasant position as black, up a pawn, to losing an endgame. Queen to b3 was a little lame. Yeah, queen h5. Queen f5. Even h5, h4, h3. That would have been worthwhile. But ultimately, let's go to the position where we are up a pawn. So in this particular position, I played queen to d5 instead of queen to a1. Queen to e4 is the same, but what happens on queen?
I rarely lose endgames because I usually don't reach the endgame.
Oh, and this is a passed pawn that is far better. You don't reach the endgame. Paul, we have to work on our positivity. We do. We do have to work on our positivity. The only thing that could be worse. Oh no, my f2 and b2 pawns. Is he really going to do that to me? Interesting.
Every time I play I am positive that I will lose.
You are positive that you are going to lose. You are so funny, sir. Oh, I see. Fine. Oh, he bit the bait.
At least I am useful for looking up birthdays.
You have said this before. I find this very disturbing. This is what we are up to, sir. We have to rephrase ourselves. We need a reprogramming. Yeah? We do need a little bit of a reprogramming, Bobby. A little bit of a reprogramming. How do we get there from here? Oh, is that it? What am I concerned about? Really? My opponent? Is trying to head for an endgame. Really? Please, let's trade. Where is that queen going? Oh, I could lose material that way. Yes, yes, yes. I am a trying. We're getting there. Are we running him out of squares yet? Doesn't seem like it. Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. This is where he out-tactics me again. He is very good at out-tacticking me. You're still out-tacticking me. It's very annoying that you're out-tacticking me. Very annoying that he's out-tacticking me. Went from being up a rook. That's crazy, right? Pillsbury is so strong. So very, very strong. Oh no. Grr. There's a lot to be learned from Pillsbury and myself. All right, Paul, the self-deprecating humor. I know we both grew up on like Rodney Dangerfield and
ChessMosik just raided the channel with 8 viewers.
Namaste, ChessMosik. How are you?
Hello. How are you? Are you ready for the birthdays?
Am I ready for the birthdays? By the way, everybody, if I... Hold on, we just have to make sure that there was a shout-out for ChessMosik. I am almost ready. We have a birthday calendar, by the way, with quite a number of notable players' birthdays.
Good. We had a lot of fun, but I lost a lot of rating.
Well, I'm very happy that you are playing rated games. I cannot believe that players aren't willing to put their ratings on the line. So in this particular 2 nights defense against the Italian, Although I have learned that there are some ways for this bishop to be useful on c5. I find the bishop to be more useful preventing a pin on the knight on f6. And if my opponent, for the most part, does not pay attention, then I get to scarf their bishop pair, which cannot happen in a lot of the other lines. We're just going to keep on keeping on. There is a little bit of a danger here involving the a7 pawn being weak, but to what end? So now this is being attacked twice. Let's prepare to defend it a couple of times. This is all a maneuvering game in the Italian game. I'm not sure what your favorite opening might be, ChessMosik, but this was not good. Really? You're playing it that way? I'll play it that way. So I was planning on gambiting that pawn in any event, but let's see what happens. He has a lot of
I'm
tactics.
E4 E5 player and I love Marshall.
Yes, yes. I'm not a big fan of this, what's happening right now. Marshall
Bishop
is
pair
great.
against knight bear.
I guess we're just going to have to accept the fact that I'm losing something here. What? Interesting. I'm game. I need to split up his pawn structure faster than he can split up my pawn structure. Is that possible?
He missed 10x f6 check.
Yeah, he should have played that. Definitely. Definitely, Paul. So I am from New York City, ChessMosik. I have not looked up everyone's about information as well or as I should have, right? But we will see.
Have to go. Enjoyed the rest of your stream.
Thank you so much. Have we gotten out of this mess at all? Namaste. Let's do something sometime. If you're up for it. So let's see. We have an outside pass pawn. How does he defend this pawn? How does he defend that pawn? Can he have all of his pawns defended at the same time? I have a weak back rank, but I do have two bishops. Queen and knight. Queen and knight versus queen and bishop. Let's just go for the end game, and should we need to draw it, we will. I didn't like it. Bollocks. We lost. Again, I lost. That's so rude. I have to do something about this endgame slump that I'm in. I loved everything about my position here, except for a6. a6 was such a lemon. Rook d5, rook b3, bishop a5. Yeah, bishop f6 would have been easier. A lot easier to handle. I was a little worried about his knight getting to a better square, though. I felt that the bishop
A
could
dojo
cover
legend
d2.
and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at.
a6 was the only move
I didn't understand
I
a6.
could find that would lose, right? I hallucinated, for whatever reason, that I could cover the b6 square afterwards. Very strange. I have a problem with the weak back rank. I have a problem with everything. And then here I have to actually start barnacling if I'm going to hold out at all. But not that I'm holding out. There's no holding out. Yeah, it's the same problem. I'm getting forked. Oh, 7 and 12. The rapid is about to start. We may need to push the rapid back just a little bit. Should we push the rapid back just a little bit? No, there are 6 people there that are here for rapid. Copy. Message all members.
I'll give you the birthdays.
All right. Yes, shoot. Let's do it. Copy link address. Stream.
Anthony Atanas Sof, January 30th. Paolo Basamina, February 1st.
Nice.
Tagir Salem Gariv, February 28th.
All of these are new to me.
Floodgater, February 29th.
Interesting. I should know that one, perhaps.
Zuresh Hush, April 3rd.
I think I am moving on in this one to the rapid. There's one more game going here. There are 7 in the rapid with a minute to go. 1 round left. I have to
Vlad
actually
was
do
recently
something about
interviewed
this.
on the Perpetual Chess podcast.
Yes, yes. That absolutely makes sense. We also have a podcast to promote with Tapas New. Tapes New. Taps New. Checking who is going on here. All right.
Until I listened to your interview with Tapas New, I didn't know there are chess factions in some cities.
Unfortunately, and I'm positive that the same chess factions exist throughout the world. Throughout the world. They just don't like each other. They're so competitive. They're not into it for the groups. I didn't even talk about the chess faction in Florida that does not want a chess federation that supports professional chess. They only want to support junior and scholastic chess. There's a chess faction in Florida that is very, very anti-professional chess. Like, the professional chess circuit should have a different organization, according to them, than a scholastic chess organization, which is pretty incredible too. But yeah, it's very sad that people cannot work together, unfortunately. All right, let's just take our time, not move quickly, try to enjoy this game as best we can. I'm still on the Paul Morphy era here for the most part. Paul Morphy believed in bishop d3 followed by queen e2 against this opening. Since black is more than likely going to be playing e6, the bishop never belongs on c4 here. It also invites someone to attack. Oh no, my g2 square. And my rook right behind it. Now the moment of truth. Do we give his bishop an opportunity or not? Or are we really trying to stop him from playing the move d5? I believe we are. As much as I would have loved to have gone with, first we put a pawn on d5 so that our opponent can enjoy it. And then we upset the apple cart a little bit on the e4 square as best we can. Since it becomes extremely tedious for the opponent to try to support that knight. Alrighty then. We're just going to try to keep weakening our opponent's squares a little bit. We're going to exchange the pawn on e5 for an outpost square. And then should we activate everything? I feel so. A little concerned about this, but maybe not that concerned. Knight g5, bishop g5, rook g5. Can we ask for another one? Let's see where this one's going. Okay, it's gotten more intriguing. There's another piece is hanging. It was only a pawn, by the way, only a pawn. I agree that the piece coordination in this particular game was not exactly inspiring. Piece coordination is really what separates the quality of the piece coordination is what separates the various types of master level players from others. Being able to coordinate the pieces toward a specific goal. Very, very huge. Very, very important. Simba. Let's check out Simba's first game since he's leading the tournament. Let's pay attention to the piece coordination here. So we're playing a very symmetrical game of sorts until black chose the King's Indian. I was a huge fan of this as well, the c6 and bishop f5 lines. But he's going with the old white album, the White Book of Andrew Martin. Winning with the King's Indian, the White Book. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't know if this was really necessary, but okay. Simba is basically coordinating his pieces better. Is that necessary, though? Should we play knight takes e4 first? And then go after the f2 pawn later? This bishop is not threatening the pawn, anything on e4 because of the queen takes f1, winning even further material, right? So the drawback to knight takes e4 in this position is the discovery on the knight with knight takes e5. However, we have further ways of going with this. In either direction, we can play bishop takes, and queen takes f1 if we would like. We also look like we have another way out after knight takes e4, knight takes e5, knight takes d2. And this rook is having a severe identity crisis. And there's a problem along the long diagonal all the way to a1. So, queen to b6 it was. This will tax our playing ability. White is the higher rated player. This had to be a touch move, perhaps. But this is the rook that's being attacked. So this was fully intentional. Did he just forget that his knight was on c1? That's intriguing. All right, we're going to try for the other people just don't play the London anymore. So I'm actually trying to play against the London. I like collecting those free points. I like getting my rating up. We're only at 2120. We're going to try to build our rating up even further. We're also going to take our opponent's center pawn when he allows it.
I have trouble with the London system.
Well, I mean, who doesn't really have trouble with the London system? I mean, let's just grab some space. Grabbing more space. So our opponent is having some technical difficulties in intriguingly, in trying to.
Chess coach Andras and Le Fong are among the streamers who pan the London.
Well, the drawback with the London, now the London is a very effective opening. In general, there's no reason not to use the London. But on the whole, you're not trying to, unfortunately, improve at chess. This is the drawback with the London, ultimately, is that you really want an opening that helps you become a better chess player. That is what we're all about. We're trying to become a better chess player. If, for whatever reason, you are playing an opening system that does not allow you to become a better chess player, herein lies the tale, right? Do I want to play it that way? Queen a5 check. Bishop d2. What am I going to do? Bishop d4. Yeah, let's go in this direction. Let's see if we can ease some of the problems on our side of the board. So now knight takes. Interesting. Very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. No, sir. What are you up to? We're obviously having a tough time with forks. Alexander 1207. Forks, forks, and more forks. That was unfortunate. There was no reason to allow any of that. He had knight to d2, didn't he? Let's go back for just a moment and see what went wrong with his game. First things first, I'm not a big believer in these systems that do not really work the fundamentals. Like, this is also an intriguing thing. If it was assigned to him by a coach, I understand. But the moment that your center is being attacked, you have to deal with it. This is fighting for the center. The three ways of dealing with the center, basically. You're either fighting for the center, you're holding the center, or you're giving up the center. And this move, bishop to g2, essentially somewhat gives up the center because he did not use his knight, of course, to place it better in the center. His queen is now going to be harassed, and he's going to lose a bit more time, unfortunately. There's just nothing to be done about the loss of the control of the center. So, yes, the Sicilian and many other openings fight for the center. The standard e4, e5 as black tries to hold the center on many occasions. And King's Gambit type accepted, and Peart's defenses, moderns, Black Lions somewhat give up the center. The Black Lion is a nice hybrid, though, that does try to do both. Hold the center, and at the same time, it gives up a certain amount of space in the center. Somewhere in there must be a good clip. So ultimately, I thought he fought his way back reasonably well. Yes, Queen a5 was a terrible move on my part. It was also the move that won the game. Can you believe that? The move that was a terrible move on my part was also the move that won the game because of my opponent's reaction. I fully expected either knight takes d4, or if he did play bishop takes b4, queen takes b4, he had to retreat his knight and just get castled. Not a big deal. Certainly black could be better in many cases, but... Good morning, Sasa. How are you? Where are you from? Again, I'm trying to recall. I apologize if I did not get it before. So good to see you. So yeah, the move that was actually quite terrible that threw away my advantage is also the one that helped me to win the game. Isn't that ironic? Not allowing knight takes g4, it just throws away my whole game. I had to play a move more along the lines of bishop takes d2. And even here, I expected knight takes d2. Queen takes d2, bishop g4. And this would have
Maybe you
just been
can
a normal
remember.
game where black
Smile
was slightly better.
Turkey.
Turkey, of course. I just have known many Sashas, as well as, I guess it's also a shortened form of Alexander, maybe in Turkish, as well as in Russian, Sasha. We have Mbappe. This is the Iranian Mbappe. I can tell whose football team he likes. Maybe because Iran was not in the World Cup. It's too bad that Iran was not in the World Cup. That would have made it very, very intriguing, right? So the next question, do we play rook to g1 as black? How do we get ourselves into this mess anyway, when we have a nice quiet move to try to hold this position? It doesn't hold on to the pawn, as it turns out. But that is a great preparatory move, and now he's going to lose a pawn.
I joined.
Ouch. Nice. Namaste, Sasa. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Only seeing rook takes e4. I don't know what he was looking at there. But I certainly would have tried rook takes bishop on the discovered check. All right. Heading back to the main body of the Swiss. Hoping to get all of our games in. So here we go. No, I'm staying with the e4 openings. Let's just do it. Not scared of e6 at all. Now, against c4, I'm going with the old school bishop d3.
I still can't get over your a6 move. Even I wouldn't have played that.
Everyone experiences technical difficulties sometimes. Really? Okay. Everybody experiences somebody's difficulties sometime. Makes no difference how or where in the position. Something. Are you really trying to come in on me here? You're trying to offer me...
I'm trying to figure out why you didn't accept the sack.
I don't know either, honestly. Well, makes no difference how or where you are. Something in your eyes does smiling. I'm really roughing it here with this song.
Full check didn't look dangerous, at least to me.
The sack, no, he has rook g8 and my queen has no squares. On king takes f2, rook g8, queen h6, knight to g4 check wins my queen. So it's a standard tactic where he could have played rook g8 first, queen h6, and then bishop takes f2 check, but I'd have to play king f1 either way. I'm afraid that Simba is now trying feverishly to coordinate his pieces once more. It looks like an investment in material
is 1. F4. Can playable in 2000 to 2300 yellows, or is it too bad? Now you see why I am losing all the time. I didn't see that.
Well, I don't know if that's the reason you're losing all the time. Right? One F4 is a great move. It's playable at any time. I know a grandmaster who plays it regularly. I've known him since he was a kid. Yes, yes. I'm just dead lost here. There's no saving me now. Knight D2 was just such a terrible move. So meanwhile, King D1 is better. How intriguing. King E2 is better. Of course, King E2 is better. Then we have Rook F1. So silly of me. Why did I play King F1? Now black is just completely winning. Although this move gives me a chance. I did not choose it properly. I was very lucky here. I thought he was going to play the same move. But he has to repeat, right? Oh, I get a little bit of extra time in. Fascinating. All right, so Queen F4. And he blundered with Queen G6.
I am not always successful in looking up birthdays. I haven't found Kirk Kazarian's birthday.
And Liam Putnam, you're absolutely right. I thought about contacting Mrs. Putnam, or even Liam himself, as he lives not far from me. Kirk Kazarian, yes. I love Kirk, Captain Kirk's name. Captain Kazarian. And here, E takes F6, of course. There's absolutely nothing going on in this position. What I have found Queen takes F2, just being up a ton of material. I probably would have. I didn't have a choice. So in any event, then I play knight on 1 to D2, losing my queen to a discovered check. Craziness. That one is going in the book. There's no doubt about it. That one is going in the book. Anytime I miss a tactic like that, that deserves to be in the book. No matter how crazy and complicated it appears. That was a pretty basic tactic that I should never have missed. Let us check out Mbappe's game versus Sasa. Oh no, Sasa is... Actually, Sasa's enjoying this position very much. I might have gone to F4 instead, but there's another chance for that now. So many people are only thinking about their own interest, which creates those factions in various chess cities across the country. And we even have them in New York, unfortunately, as well, which is somewhat sad. But there's no stopping it. There's just no preventing it. It is indeed one of those things. Torn as to whether or not we play bishop to d6, bishop takes e7, and keep him from castling further. Or if we play bishop to d6, does he just castle? No, he has to take the knight. Either way, this position is highly uncomfortable for the opponent. And even in the rating categories.
Were there factions for the Marshall Chess Club and the Manhattan Chess Club?
Between each other, less so than the ones that you might think. The Marshall and the Manhattan got along relatively well in the later days because we needed each other on the whole, and we even had a match against each other that was a friendly rivalry where Rubenstein played for the Manhattan Chess Club. That was one of the last times I ever saw Rubenstein play. On the whole, within the clubs themselves, there are certain members that wish to achieve or accomplish certain goals as well, which is extremely awkward. For example, recently there was a group that wanted to, and this is unspeakable in my opinion, that wanted to sell the building and then at a later date purchase another building. And if you sell the building because the Marshall Chess Club owns the building that they're in, you're putting yourself greatly at risk if you don't already have another building that you are able to move into right away. Basically, selling a building and then renting any establishment is going to drain you so massively that you are not going to be able to purchase another building unless you have a specific destination in mind that is willing to work toward your goals and help you out. So that, I don't know if that's still going on or if that's at rest, but that faction still exists that wants to sell the Marshall Chess Club building, give up its legacy for the most part, which is, to me, historically unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not sure if that guarded the pawn on d5 here. It does not look like it guarded the pawn on d5 so well. Ziggy, what time is it right now in India?
It's 5:13 p.m. in India right now.
So if it's 5:13, then it's 5:30 at 8 o'clock. 3 hours from 8 o'clock would be 11. I have to get back to Tapas New, who wanted to test a new microphone. Yeah, this is going to tax our playing ability that's mate in one.
Does the Marshall Chess Club allow non-members to visit? I should have gone there once when I was working in Manhattan.
Absolutely. You can always visit the Marshall Chess Club. They're always taking tourists and doing little tours and trying to accommodate, at least for a short period of time, if they are able to, guests. All right, against d4, I don't know what my knight a6 routine is. Oh no, I had my chance. I did. I had my chance. It's craziness. Oh, wow. Fair enough. Now that his bishop is already developed, we will try to put it out there. If the c-pawn weren't here, he'd have a winning tactic.
You are more than 1,000 points above Viking.
It's true. That much is true. For some reason, I had this feeling that he would be very accommodating. Let's keep attacking things that are weak while saving material as I can. Just keep developing, developing, developing. Just keep developing. Do I take with the knight? Do I take with the bishop? I'll take because I like my knight more. Interesting. Not at all what I was expecting. Checkers. More checkers. See where these pieces are going to. All right, now it's gotten interesting. Okay. Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Oh no, I'm not going to get what I want. That's such a bummer. No, it's a real chess game again, ladies and gentlemen. Such a bummer. No, sir. Here a check, there a check, everywhere check, check. Whew. Yes, I was trying to orchestrate a pawn mate. I admit it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 Rosen trophies. The race to 1,000 Rosen trophies.
Nice mate.
Yeah, so I was hanging everything in an effort to try to get to that one. So Viking, I had offered him help as well, and I have not been able to make the time to follow. Let's see what we have here. Wow. White has a massive number of pieces in the center. Andrea versus Simba only needs to hurdle the challenge to his rook, right? I'd definitely be putting my rook on the 7th rank immediately. I wouldn't even be thinking about it. Oh, he's going to sack his, he's going to desperado his rook and then take the knight. But he can take even more because he's got another fork coming. Yeah, this looks pretty bad for Simba. Very, very bad for Simba. Uh-oh, I may need to take my... Let me find out. Oh. Eva, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Okay. A couple of more minutes. That doesn't help. A couple of more minutes is going to need 10. Whew.
I should leave. See you
No.
all.
No, Sasa, what happened? Do you have to leave? What's up for your day today? You did very well. Nicely done. Mbappe, who I'm wondering how accurate his rating is, and Alexander 1207. Let's check out your game with Alexander 1207. Solid. Although I don't know, so I don't necessarily know why we didn't just share the center right away. This is asking for trouble on the whole. When you're playing a lower-rated opponent, you might as well just play to the best of your ability. There's always a chance that they might draw. And now here, we're exchanging this pawn for the pawn on c3, but our opponent doesn't allow it. Isn't that crazy? He does this move, which to me, this is just an automatic. We're going to be I said that's a problem. Oh, he set himself a problem. Because bishop to b4. Nicely done, Sasa. For those of you who have not yet checked out the amazing power of Chess Informant, you should. I don't know if that is working. Is Cloudbot working in Kick? Did we get that command over there? I don't know. So in any event, we're back to this one. Maybe Sasa was only interested in playing against me, unfortunately. Sasha. It could be pronounced Sasha. 2 bishops against a rook. Very intriguing. Rook f4. Simba. We definitely have to batten down the... Yeah, we can't let that happen. No. Now it's resignable. One move like that, and we cannot stop this pawn from promoting. Oh, you're going to use a tactic, perhaps? Interesting. Rook over. Bishop back. King up. But one of us is getting a queen, and the other us is getting a queen and a bishop. This does not bode well for the side without the bishop. No, you had king up without having to sack. Very nicely done, Andrea. Andrea is trying to lock it down. Simba is working hard. Trying to not exchange queens. Mm-hmm. I don't know about this one. He's made life very difficult for himself. He really needed that queen to be able to go into f8, g8, bishop g8. I mean, he's still winning. It's just going to take an incredible amount of time. Fortunately, everything is guarded so that he can, interestingly enough, try to get away. No, we just got to keep moving to a square where he doesn't have a check like that one. Dudovich. Oh, man. No more checks. No more checks.
Thank you for following Riandy_1.
Riandy, how are you? This fellow is definitely going for the perpetual
Black is counting
checkerboard.
on a 3-move repetition at some point.
He might get it. He did get it. I can't believe that he didn't find... I can't believe that he did not find king to d2 here. Right? Where's the next check on king to d2? Maybe queen to b4, but we bring the queen back? That should be the end of the checks, right? In fact, probably king to d2, queen to b4, king to e2. There's only one check. And then king to f2, and they certainly are gone.
White was in time pressure.
Yeah, that doesn't make any difference. That doesn't make any difference. There's always time pressure. Every day of the week, every day of the year, there's always time pressure, everybody. There's always a reason to dial in, to lock down the position, to focus. We get to see what Simba was really planning with his quiet Italian game here. Did I lose a game? I did. I lost that horrible game where I lost my queen.
Thank you for following moderation.
NM Moderation, how are you? Good to see you. That was on, I'm going to put it over here. I am FIDE trainer and national
Based
master.
in NYC, former president of the Marshall Chess Club, FIDE trainer John MacArthur, USA National Master since 1989, has trained one Grandmaster, Quickie, among dozens of national champions and other titled players. He is rumored to be 39 years and accidentally began teaching chess in August of 1984, 2 days after the death of the 9th world champion Tigran Petrosian.
Thank you, everyone. I don't like talking about myself, so I'm very happy that that does it for me. I probably could have played another game if I realized that I was not going to get.
Good, thanks. In moderation, how I'm meant to do chess.
In moderation. Ah, in. Yeah, it's too bad we can't put a parentheses on it, like an apostrophe in there somewhere, in moderation. But yes, in moderation. Nicely done. Same thing for Master Chess Dojo, by the way. Originally, I started out with just Master Chess. And the idea was for you to join in order to master chess. All right, 1 minute. I'm almost there. I just need so to master chess, or this is the place for you to master chess, or this is the act of mastering chess. Now we have a place for everyone to master chess. It doesn't mean that we have to be a master in order to join the dojo. Basically, it is a place that we come to master chess, the dojo. I will be right back. I'm going to put up 3 boards, and hopefully they will all be going when I come back. I'll be right back as I run my wife to the train station and perhaps even retrieve some coffee.
Off to get coffee, possibly also to use the facilities? BRB. Smile, 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 smile. I'll have breakfast while you are away.
All right, we're on to the next round. Hopefully there'll be time for another. Did I pause the music? I do not know.
I can't believe myself. I never thought that this would be our end, but it's nothing new. And my lover's honesty, I could push it back down if I have to.
Who has the most interesting game at the moment? Well, it doesn't look like Mbappe sacrificing all of his material. For what? I do not know. Queen to h5 check. Queen to d8, king to e6, rook to e1. Queen to d8. Yes, of course that move wins the queen, but still. Let's keep it creative. Queen to d8. d5 check. Rook e1, I like it. Every piece in the game. Now, how to checkmate with a pawn? That is the question. How to checkmate with a pawn? Rook takes. Nicely done. So of the two remaining games, we've got Atif the Great, and we have Andrea. Andrea has impressed me, even though he's been on the sketchy side of many of these positions. Let's join Atif. I'm sorry, Andrea. Three minor pieces and two rooks, but what about this rook on f8? Are we ever going to use the rook on f8? I imagine the bishop is coming into the game. The knight could well be trapped after a6, but still. Why haven't we skewered yet? Could be time for removing the defender. First the skewer. Alright, first the skewer. This does not bode well, right? 6 pawns to 6 pawns, very awkward pawn structure. What are we planning on doing? Okay, I guess that's one way to go about it. All of those pawns are weak. He's eyeballing that weakness. Fair enough. Bishop. Another fork. Fair enough. This pawn is still hanging, so I don't understand what the purpose of a6 was. We want to trade pieces. We're up so many pawns, right? After bishop f3. Almost the only move. It's almost impossible. Almost impossible to guard those pawns on the king side. Bishop e3 check. So this is all worked out for white. If only he'd play bishop f3 first instead of bishop f4. Perhaps, unless he's avoiding playing what he's hearing me say. This could mean one of two things. Rook takes and then king 2. Yeah, I would play rook takes first. I wouldn't allow this check and allow him to double. I think he just plain forgot about this bishop over here. Worse yet. Now rook check. Now rook capture. I'm not sure what he was threatened about. There's no threat there. Not yet, anyway. Let's check on. That's a fascinating move. I don't think we have a choice but to move back in case we get mated after king h6. It's tragic that Vinny pulled it out and he gets a perpetual check. It might mean that g6 is the only move.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.
Yep, Andrea is still winning the tournament. Whew. That's craziness. Mate. This should also lead to mate. mate in 2 is threatened. Check. Mate. Alright, enough dubstep, yeah? Enough dubstep. Check. Not quite a pawn mate, unfortunately. But the rook has to take. One of the rooks takes. Since there's no stalemate, it looks like it's mate in 1. Could be worse. Could be rook d7 check, king h6, trying to get fancy, rook h1 check, game over. Yeah, Vinny, I don't know if that was worth it. Let's see if we can get one more game in. All right, Andrea, you and I have not met today, so let's give him the Carlsen opening repertoire since we have to worry about him. If our opponent wishes to play the French, we should let him. That much is true. But if your opponent wishes to play the Dutch, you should also let him. He is a good and natural Dutch defense player, it seems. Should I?
I am back, with a cup of tea.
Nice. Skull. Let us see what he has done. Interesting, interesting. Wouldn't want to take his extra pawn. Would we? Where are we in this equation? All those weaknesses is saying. Interesting. We've got A5. Our queen is heading in, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting, interesting. It doesn't look like we're going to get there. Really? You wish to do that, do you? All right. Interestingly enough, we have to give up those 2 pawns. Bishop f7 is not quite cutting it. Interesting, interesting. So you did save yourself, eh? Or did you?
I'm trying to figure out why you didn't take the knight on e5.
He had c5 in return, not to mention that it would free up. If I take the knight, it frees up his bishop. His bishop would have been freed up if my pawn is not on f4 anymore. My knight is trapped over there. I'm not happy. What a bummer it is now. We're going to try to get this moving one way or another, just in case we can. Yes, yes. So if he captures and I capture, is this true? It's interesting. That much is true. So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. I'm not sure if this is enough. Oh, I can't do it. Well, that's a bummer. Andrea is torturing me. It is official. I'm just down too much material. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Moment of truth, eh? Desperately trying to get it moving. Well, he had a tougher move that would have been more testing.
Were you thinking of RG3?
On my opponent's part? That is a good question. How am I getting there from here?
Yes, the tougher move.
Trying. Grr. For what it's worth. Grr. No, you were supposed to play it the other way, sir. I was expecting knight to b3, king to b1 the other way. Nicely done. No chance for me to finish in the top 5. No chance. I missed 2 games by accident. First game I probably did not need to miss. I could have just as easily lost the first game. But on the whole, a very good tournament. Better than I expected. Is this one going to be? So here, knight to d2, preparing e4. I mixed
How
my
did a
plans a little bit by going
1700
after his
win
dark
this?
squared bishop. A 1700? Who's a 1700? Are you talking about a different tournament? Andrea played very well. And I was just
Simba.
expecting him to play for e5 at the right moment, but he never quite got it in. I feel like I had something right around here that I should have played. So f4 was a bad move. I should have just started on it with c takes d5. After c takes d5, then f4. So I played f4 first. My opponent did not test me, and I should have played c takes d5 again because I need this pawn to not recapture. And then I can play this move. Very inaccurate on my part. On the whole, very inaccurate. Not paying attention to details the entire way. Now I have no bishop d5. So you were wondering, Paul, about me not playing this way, is that he's just going to get it back. You know, I can try for a desperado, but he doesn't have to recapture. He's always got this move to free up his bishop, and I didn't really want that. But you're right. It would have been a better move. F takes e5 would have been a better move. I got way too fancy here. But as for the reasons why I didn't take on e5, it was because I thought there were too many benefits for him and not enough for me. And I wasn't analyzing. This is really terrible chess on my part. Really, really terrible chess. What can you do? In any event. Namaste, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Cheers and ciao. Lesson in about 15 minutes for me. Hopefully.
Your terrible chess is still better than my terrible chess.
My terrible chess is equal to, if not greater than, all of the other terrible chess in the world. Trust me. In any event, thank you all for being here. Where were we? Let's roll those credits for the new players the new followers that have come in. Thank you all for being here. Cheers and ciao. In moderation, Riandi, namaste. For those of you who have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. +30 on chess.com. That's absolutely insane. But they were probably playing like a bullet game, or were they at least respecting you in return? Were they? We don't know. In any event, please enjoy Kiho. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers and ciao. Thank you so much.